this is light work. Let me testify. This gon' be the year that I break every cycle. Let me testify, right hand on the Bible. I was tripping, chasing every empty title. Now I'm locked in, living like a walking Bible. He ain't failed me yet.
You are the most connected generation in the history of the world. Think about it. We have a full phone of contacts, a group chat for every season. We have followers, we have story viewers, there's comments, there's likes, there's reactions, emojis, bitmojis, everything. Yet still, you may have a sense of loneliness. Not because people aren't available, but because nobody may actually know you like the real you. And you've been calling that community. Access and connection are not the same thing. And today we're going to talk about the difference.
This is the Yes Word Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Lady B.
I am Dr. DQ.
And I'm Dr. Blaire.
Ooh, y'all, we are in it. Season 2, and we are in relational awakening. Before you can build real relationships, you have to be honest about the ones you've been settling for. And today's conversation goes there. We're talking about the group chat, the followers, the community you announce, the loneliness you don't. This episode is for the person who has a whole tribe in their IG bio. Is that y'all? Because I don't have the whole tribe.
I don't have a
Girl, I
tribe.
don't be on IG.
I got a little village. That's it.
But if you got a whole tribe in your IG bio, then this one is for you, especially if you still felt completely alone last week with your whole tribe. Pull up, like, share, subscribe, and let's get into it.
Yes. Let's get into it. All right. So first, let's just get on the same page about some of the terminology that we're using. So first, let's talk about access versus connection. So there's a core distinction, okay? Because a lot of times we feel like, oh, we're connected, we know all these people, but baby, that's really just access. So access means, you can reach me, you have my number, you're in my chat, you follow my page, you see my stories, you keeping an eye on what I'm doing. But connection means that you actually know me and you know what's real. And you've seen me in a hard moment because I let you.
Permission.
Girl, I let you, okay? You have someone's access and you never have their truth. And that is the gap that a lot of people are living in.
I appreciate you. Come on, Dr. DQ, the educator here, giving us some language. And I'm wondering if we can think and process through if we've ever realized that you had a lot of access or gave a lot of access to yourself, but very few people actually knew you. And I think about a few different areas and aspects of my life, motherhood, in the workplace, baby, people got access to me. They feel I just got a call today at 5:30. And I was like, I picked up, right? They had access to me, but do they know me? And I'm just wondering if we can just share, like, what are the places where we've realized that people have so much access to us and they don't really truly know us? They get a glimpse into who we are.
I mean, I agree. There is work. And I'll just kind of elaborate on that. Like, I have a fantastic team that I work with. They're amazing. But what they see now, the connection wasn't immediate. Like at first it was access, right? At first it was like, hey, how you doing? We kind of got to get to know each other and understand boundaries and positions and functionalities and personalities. And so over time, I think it has progressed into a certain level of connection. But naturally, it's not going to be the same level of connection that I have with the two of you or with other friend groups that I have in different realms and different experiences, mainly because they serve different purposes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's also the workplace. I'm trying to think of anything different. I am a person that gives access to any and everyone that
You
I
do.
meet. Yeah.
We love it about
I
you.
you
We
we
do, but we
all
also
know
gonna
that
talk
about
about
me.
that
I'm pretty
because
sure the listeners know this about me at this point. So yes, let's go into like a therapy session for me. But yes, like I give access to everyone. And I don't think I haven't learned until well into my adult life, the whole boundaries
Mm,
conversation. I thought it was good that I was getting access to people can call me and I'm gonna pick up the phone. If I'm not able to pick up, I try my best to text. Again, I'm holding the guilt if I don't respond, right?
mm,
And again, they have no idea what's going on in my life, right? They
oh,
could be calling and they're calling and ready to talk about their issues. And I will pause anything that I'm doing, the work that I'm doing, and give
yep,
them that attention that they are desiring without them
mm,
asking me, how you doing? Are you able to talk right now? Because I
Girl,
mhm.
make it available to them, right? I make it available because I'm like, yeah, what's going on? We're really in the back of my head because y'all know I ain't got the time.
girl,
You
and that's
don't.
when you let it go to voicemail. Stop answering the phone.
That's
I
when you
had
let
to
it go
learn
to
that the
voice.
hard way too because I would answer the phone and I've had people call me, I answer the phone, and then they just word vomit everything that's going on. And I'm like
Mhm,
multitasking, I'm cooking, and it's bath time, or I'm
mhm,
doing XYZ. Girl, so there are a select number of people.
mhm.
Mm.
If I don't have that space to receive whatever they may be dumping into the conversation, I don't answer. I'll talk to you later.
Mhm. Talk to you later.
D and D, do not disturb. Stop answering that phone, Lady B.
You right. I got to.
She
Yeah, I
told
know. I
you.
be getting red on these on these episodes all the time.
You're so much nicer than I am.
Mm.
Bless you, Lady B.
I'm working on it though, y'all. I'm working on it, and I'm
Me
trying to show up as, like this is who I am and present myself as this is what is going on. When I present myself for whatever reason, I show up as if I have everything together or
Girl.
mm,
that I'm an organized person. And it was never the person, I never shared that. I never told anyone I'm this
mm,
organized person. This is something that someone put their expectations or their assumptions on me,
yeah.
right? And so that's something that I've had to really navigate because that is not true. Like the duck in the pond. Like I'm over here like trying my feet just
Like,
kicking because I'm like
and you
I'm
looking
drowning.
smooth and
I'm
calm and
drowning over here.
collected on the
Mhm.
surface level. That's real, and I'm wondering what people are receiving, right, or what you're presenting that then makes people be drawn to you in that way and seek you out in that way, and I think that that's a good kind
Mm,
of mindset or way to for us to kind of process through, like, what masks do we wear or
mm,
what perception do we give to people either from, how we share information, what we're posting, or how we come into situations, or how receptive we are that then allow them to fill in the gaps and say, well, this is who this person is. Without us actually having to tell them, like, no, this is who I am. You
girl.
you you got this whole narrative about me, but let me actually tell you who I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that, Lady B, I don't know if you want to address that, but I feel like that kind of carries us into the next part of the convo.
Well, Dr. Blair, I will say by her just saying, I feel like it's the ownership on that person, myself, to come out and say, like, hey, let me set the record straight, right?
Mm.
This is really what's on my plate. Like I may make it look easy. And I think that those are the conversations that I don't have. I'm just gifted and good at what I do. But
Mm. Come on. Tell
but,
them.
I am
I still
struggling,
struggle.
right? And I'm actually can give a little story just today. I had a church member, love her to death, and she checks on me all the time. So today she asked how I was. I said, "I'm exhausted." And it was like, I didn't think
Whoosh.
anything of it, right? I was like, I'm just exhausted because that's truly how I felt. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong? Like, are you?" And girl, I'm like, "Girl, this is all the time. Let me tell you, I'm always
That is
exhausted.
my
Maybe
normal.
I don't tell you enough that I'm exhausted. I can just
Mm.
listen to people and whatever issues they're going through, but I'm still tired. I'm still carrying my own load of work and responsibilities and the many hats that I wear."
And I think that
Mm.
that is kind of the untold story of first ladies. right? Like, there's counselors, there's
Learning.
therapists, but when you bring in the first lady role and you are kind of that foundation for the pastor and for the congregation and
Mm.
for whatever else is assigned to you, that's heavy.
It is.
I
That is
am
heavy.
walking in it and learning it day by
Yes.
At
day.
the same time.
Y'all reach y'all
Yeah.
hands towards your
Woo!
speakerphone and touch and agree. Blessed
Hallelujah.
would it be, cause
Yes.
y'all send y'all good vibes, cause
Yeah.
Lord,
Oh,
that
I
can be
love it.
heavy.
We can.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about, y'all ready? Performative vulnerability. Okay, so
Mm.
this is when we share things that look vulnerable, but they don't actually cost us anything. So think about when you are on the other side of your testimony and now you're telling people about it.
Mhm.
Okay?
'Cause
Think
we not gonna
about what
share
is
it while we go through it. We
girl,
gon' get this. Yes.
because it's heavy and
Yeah.
because that requires vulnerability.
Yeah.
And because I think that that is when you are kind of struggling the most. And that's when your faith is being tested. And sometimes we don't always like to disclose that, like, hey, my faith is wavering a little bit. It's easier to talk about the faith you had once it has paid off, right?
That's another good one because again, I think about how we are presenting or how people interpret our presentation. So, if listeners, if we may be honest, I'll post this question to our other hosts here, right? Have you ever posted anything that looked vulnerable while the people closest to you had no idea what you were going through? They over here sending you texts after you done put your seconds after you done posted like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, I just saw you yesterday. Like, what?"
I'm good
That's
for it. You really won't know exactly. I'll be honest, I'm
that's me
good
all
for it.
day.
You ain't really gonna know exactly what's going on. So the example
Mhm.
that I will share is this was back in 2018 when I was working for the state and I was RIFT. So RIFT is called it's a reduction in force, aka I was laid off. They can dress it up however they want to, baby. I was without a job. And I had no income for a few months. And so I think a couple of people knew about it. But as far as publicly sharing my testimony, that didn't happen until after I landed a job 3 months
Mm.
later. People, if you were close to me, you knew that I wasn't working, but you didn't really know the impact that it had on my finances. And
Wow.
then we testify on Facebook. So then I had my long posts after I had my next job lined up. So yeah, I'm good
Yep.
for it.
You know, there used to be a time where I was like them people who use Facebook, and I said it, yes, y'all, Facebook. Y'all know how old we are. I said it, Facebook. I've been on Facebook since it was created for college students, like that.
Okay.
Okay.
College kids.
Okay. That part. Where I posted while I was in it because I wanted people to know like, oh, like early
Mm.
on in my marriage, it would be those passive aggressive texts like, I pray everybody has a husband that will be engaged. Yeah, I was
You
that.
didn't.
I know. I was that person
Girl.
because I wanted him to see it or I wanted someone else to see it to be like, girl, let me vent to you and tell you what I'm going through in my first couple of years and I don't feel this. And I was that person that was like seeking, in that case, not necessarily the likes, but the attention from these outside people who ain't got no
Yeah.
insight into what I'm going through, as opposed to just sitting down to talk to my husband or my mother-in-law or y'all or whomever. Like I was
Mhm.
that person.
Mhm.
Praise God for who I am today.
Look
Cause
at the
y'all will
reflection.
if you looked at my social media right now, you'd be like, is she alive? She
Girl,
she
'cause you ain't posted.
I don't know. I got all the pictures in the world on my
Mm,
phone, y'all. At the end of the year, I'm gonna be
yeah,
like, this is my year in review. Here it is.
girl,
That is
girl.
But I
funny.
absolutely was putting these things out in hopes
Mhm.
that it would get a reaction, in hopes that it would
Mm.
help me to feel better, to find, again, that quote unquote community of people that'd be like, girl, what you, but didn't want to exactly say what I was going through or
Mhm,
how
Mhm.
I was bringing in God into the situation or
mhm.
any of those pieces that would actually help me in the midst of the struggle. But yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
That was me.
That is it's so interesting, especially as I listen to both of your stories, and I think I'm the opposite in this case, which is why it's so hard for me to post
Mm,
because I am very much I'm thinking all the time, like, I can't post this because this doesn't show it correctly. I hate even you know how you post those the Snapchat photos like with the filters and things like
Yep.
that. Like even those I'm leery about posting a picture that doesn't quite look like me because then I don't want somebody to be like, well, good, that ain't you, girl. Or I
oh,
just saw you the other day and you don't look like that. So, and this is just me being, I feel like too hard on myself with that
mm,
because I really go through that mental talk every time before
mm,
posting something. Like I want them to have the right image or to understand what's really going on. So I just don't post. So just to get around it, I just don't post. Like I'll post that once a year, like the recap of the 2020 year,
Y'all are a
2026.
okay.
mess.
I know. We gonna get
That's
better.
what I
We gonna get
do.
better.
Well, and
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 I'm
I mean,
trying
it's understandable.
yes,
Yeah,
and I'm definitely trying. I
in
think
your
since
role.
we've had this podcast, it
Yep.
has helped for sure. My
Yes.
social media presence has kicked up a lot. And I don't know, I'm like, "Oh, this is weird. This feels icky." But I'm getting used to it for sure.
And I say y'all a mess, and I'm right there with you because I'm also careful about what I post because
Yeah.
yes, there is this level of vulnerability, and essentially it's a fear of being known, like
Mm,
known.
Mm,
Not seen, but known, and I think that
no.
those are 2 different things. Like, a lot of people post to be seen. They want the likes, they want the reactions, they trying to monetize stuff. Understandable, baby, you just trying to be seen. You are not trying to be known because
mhm.
that's gonna make you vulnerable to the
Yeah.
criticisms, to the hurt, to the disappointment, or to the misunderstanding. I think that's my own personal thing. I have a fear of being misunderstood, like, I can't and fear might
Sure.
be the wrong word, but I really don't like being misunderstood. So we
Yeah.
curate what we present to the world. We share what's edited. I mean, personally, I've never gone live for that exact reason. Like, nope, I need to edit it. I need to
Mm,
make sure it's grammatically correct. I need to make sure it's not offensive to anyone. I'm not trying to offend anybody in whatever I say. So yeah, that's us giving access,
Mm,
and that is not us giving that connection or that presence.
yeah. And I know for some people that can create emotional isolation. It is this presentation that we have, all these followers, that we're in a community, in a tribe, doing all these things. I'm surrounded by people, but I'm not fully seen. I
Mhm.
can't be fully present, fully known in the space. So it's hard if you're in a room full of people and you can't really name one person who actually knows what's going on with you right now. That knows
mm,
that you struggling with your partner, or knows that you are in the midst of job searching or scared about this thing happening, or that's hard. So
yeah.
being in the group chat or having social media connection, and you get that feeling of community, but there's no substance there. It's empty, even though you
Mm,
have that illusion. So, we are calling you to substance and intentionality within this podcast. You haven't been honest with anyone potentially in a few months. You're choosing that surface level relationship because depth can feel a little risky, likely due to past hurt and what's, happened to you in your previous experience. I'm wondering, what would it look like to try to have a conversation with the person next to you versus scrolling on the phone? Looking through comments, posting for likes, validation. What would it look like if we started creating a culture where, like, I actually engage with the
Mhm.
person next to me, like, in real time, like, as opposed to for fake? Ooh, I said it.
Mm, for fake, for likes. Yes. All right, so let's just call it like we see it. Every group chat is not community.
mhm,
Okay. I said what I said. Every group chat is not community. Now, some of them are. You already know who's 10 toes down for you. You already know that. But if you're not sure, you can probably tell because when something actually goes wrong, like really wrong, like you in the trenches, you wait to tell
Mm,
them. You rehearse what you're gonna say and how you're going to avoid answering some of those questions that might reveal what's really, really going on. And ultimately, what has developed is this ecosystem of what community looks like, but it doesn't actually require what a community is supposed to require.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm not talking about the book club or the class reunion groups on Facebook or any stuff like that where y'all share updates, but
Mm,
nothing personal.
okay.
I'm talking about the group that's not serving the purpose it claims to serve.
Mm.
Okay.
Because we're a part of a lot of different groups that call themselves community, and it's
Hmm.
Mhm.
deceptive. It's like, "Oh, I'm in a whole bunch of support groups, a whole bunch, but am I
It's
getting the
beautiful.
support that yeah, ain't it nice? But do I
Mhm.
feel like
Yeah.
am I really in that community? Like, what does
Mhm.
community even really mean, especially when it's in this virtual hybrid remote space?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I
And
love it.
then you factor in the layer of being a Black woman,
come
okay?
on.
Because it's different for us. We have
Mhm.
been socialized, of course, to be strong. We have to hold it together. We show up for everybody. Y'all go back and listen to episode 3, Strong, Silent, and Tired,
Mm,
okay? But that means that when we are struggling, sometimes we don't have the language for it because we don't always recognize it. It's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm tired, but I still
Mhm.
gotta do this." We're so focused on what we have to do and what's next that we don't call it what it is. We're tired, we're exhausted, we're struggling. And honestly, we're not used to being the ones that need it. When I
Mm,
tell you being vulnerable and being in the struggle and vocalizing it and being able to lean on other people is a privilege,
mm,
it is very
Mm.
much so a privilege that a lot of Black women don't have.
Mm.
Okay, we end up lonely, but in a different way. We're serving
yeah.
other people, but it's a loneliness that has developed from holding space for everybody else.
Mm. Mm.
So, if we're going to bring it to the culture and just really talk about where this kind of shows up, it makes me think of Chesley Christ. And I really hope that I'm saying her name correctly. She was a 2019 Miss USA winner, and she was an
Okay.
attorney and a TV correspondent. And she passed away in January of 2022
Mm,
by her own decision.
Mm.
mm.
Okay.
Okay. And then following her death, her family shared that she had been managing high functioning depression.
Can I
And
just
so
stop? Like, what is that? High functioning
I think it mirrors
depression.
what we're talking about.
Mhm.
That's exactly what I think of. It is the strong Black woman that I have to present this way. That if I show that and say that I'm tired or exhausted, then people are like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?
Mhm.
Right,
You
it's
okay,
something
lady?"
wrong. It's
No,
something
I'm
wrong.
tired.
How many of
That's
y'all got too much PTO? Not Dr. Blair. I already
I
know.
don't. Right. We sure don't. I ain't got none.
But y'all got PTO. I mean, I know some people that pride themselves. They're like, "Nope, save my days, save my day." Girl, if you don't take them days because you
Yes.
can't take them days with you,
You can't.
Mm.
You
Mm.
can't.
Mm. Mm.
you
And if you
can't
try
do
to,
it.
they'll tax them real heavy. So just take your days.
Y'all can just miss me for a few days. I'll catch y'all after my vacation.
Yes. High
But
functioning.
yeah, so, her family shared her
Mm.
struggles with the depression, but I really wonder, and I'm not trying to speculate, but I really wonder how many of her friends
No.
knew what was happening versus how many she had
Mhm.
convinced that she was okay,
Hey.
that it
Yep.
was fine, and how many people just encouraged her because when your friends say, "Girl, I'm tired," how many of them say, "Well, you'll be okay. Oh, just keep going. You almost
Yep.
there."
Yep.
Girl, did you not hear me? I said I was tired.
Yeah.
Okay, that lady B yesterday traveling, what we do? Sit
Yes.
down.
We did tell her to
Put
sit down.
yourself on the sick and
Yes.
shut in
I was
list.
prescribed, yes, to
We
take
did.
Was.
off work,
Sure
sit
did.
down, do nothing, sleep
Did you do
Yes.
in.
it?
I did sleep in, and you know what?
She's
I
stuttering.
had I had a
She's stuttering.
one-on-one with my supervisor today. Did go to a few meetings, but I met with
Oh,
my
see?
supervisor
A
2,
few?
2 meetings, right?
No, you said a few. You know how to count. A few is more than 2.
It was really 2 meetings, and I met with her first. She was my first meeting, and she was like, "You shoulda took off today." It
W
I know. Black
Great
woman
minds.
too.
Mhm.
Wonderful, wonderful supervisor. But I told her, I was like, it's busy and I just wanted to. She was like,
Girl, that
take
work
off
will be right
tomorrow. She's
there.
like, take off tomorrow or Friday or something. I was like, thank
Or
you.
both. How about that?
Or both. But it's a blessing. It is a blessing, honestly, to have friends, who hold you accountable, who can do know you, who get to know the depths of you and not what you're just showing on the surface, right? Because
Mhm.
you need them. I need you all to hold me accountable to say, girl, Lady B, like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? And, I mean, that adds more guilt, but it's good. It's what I need to hear.
It's temporary guilt. You let it
And
go.
right? And, the fact of it is that you know what's going on. Like,
Mhm.
my schedule, that I got to bed really late this morning. And so, in those kind of conversations, like what's happening with this young lady or what happened, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think her friends knew at all.
Right.
They,
And I'll be honest, like, I know someone who knew
mm,
her, and it was very challenging, it was very difficult, and so, again, I don't know, I wasn't in her circle, but I just wonder, right, if more transparency would have garnered more support for her. I really believe that more people would have gone with her to get the support that she needed if given that opportunity. So, really, I say that Lord rest her soul, but just to encourage people to really have that connection, that vulnerability, that transparency, because it's only one you.
Mhm.
It's only one you. And
mm,
I mean, like, there's somebody that needs you to be healthy more than they need you to do for them.
And I go back to, and I was joking when I said it, right? Just have a conversation with the person next to you. It's amazing how those small micro moments. I can remember when I first moved to North Carolina and I was shopping for food because I had to cook for myself back then. Very different. Very different to my current reality. But this random woman, how are you today? And I'm from Chicago, y'all. We don't talk to each other.
see?
You
Mhm.
pass by the street and you look in somebody's eye and smile, they be like, "What's wrong with you? Do I know you? You got like it, it's a
Yeah.
different culture and
Yeah.
dynamic." And I remember like, "Are you talking to me? You do?" And we had a little, I mean, this was a prop and I moved to North Carolina when I was in my early 20s, y'all. This was probably it was a white woman in her like mid 40s. And I was like, "Let me
Aw.
just chat with you." I still remember that years later. I ain't lived in North
Mm,
Carolina in 20 years. And I
yeah.
still remember that. And it had an impact on my day. And it's so contagious, just genuinely checking in on people and
Mhm.
attempting to build, even in a micro moment, a connection with someone. Imagine how many people had access to Chesley, right? But maybe they didn't have a real connection with her, or she didn't necessarily know
Mhm.
how to build that real connection or just be fully seen and know
Mhm.
that she was going to be accepted for
Mhm.
not having everything together and not
Mhm.
presenting the way that you think a Miss USA is supposed to be or a television correspondent or an
Mhm.
attorney, right?
Yeah.
And just being fully present and just saying, I got bags under
Mhm.
my eyes today. I'm
Yeah.
tired today.
Yeah.
And that difference that it can make. I think that there's so many examples of people who have had such amazing impact on other people. We have access. I think about Robin Williams and us
Mm.
losing him,
Girl,
someone who had brought
girl.
so much joy and laughter to people
Mhm.
who was struggling internally
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
people didn't even know. It's
Yeah.
it's wild. I think especially as you said earlier, Dr. DQ, we are in this world where we can get so much access to people. We can know where they went on vacation, if they pregnant, if they all these things that's happening in their
Mhm.
life, and we are not connected. We're not in true community.
And a telltale sign of that is the number of people that will post. They have this big, full profile online, but when you see them in person, they have very little to say. They don't. Mm-mm. And honestly, side note, and this is just as a parent, I think that's what's happening to our kids. They're developing these online
Yes.
personalities,
Yeah.
baby. And you put them in a room with each other, they
Don't know what to
nothing,
do.
nothing.
Yeah.
Don't know what true socialization is. And
That
we were
shit.
so nervous about it during COVID. We were like, "Oh, the children aren't getting the socialization they need. We need to take them to parks and we need to okay,
Yeah.
we get the tablet from in front of get the phone from in
Yeah,
front of them. Then they'll know how to engage with other kids." I used to go to the park and I wouldn't even know them. I'd be like, "Can I play with you?" And we be on the swings chasing like that's how you
girl,
made friends. "Can I play with you?"
you so external. I'm so internal. Nope, I'll wait my turn. Wait till you done
Oh
with that swing. I'll be over there after you walk away.
I
my
love it.
gosh. Oh my
That's
gosh.
all right too.
I love it. And,
That's funny.
I think about, well, Blair, was going back to your question earlier, about the scrolling through your phone and, what would you do? And I love building connections with
You
people.
do.
So this it's so interesting, and it's always amazing to me when people are just
Mhm.
like, "What?" Like, when I ask someone how you are doing, I genuinely want to know how
Yeah,
you are doing.
it
And
is.
but I'm like, that person that you talked about, Blair, like, "Hi, how you
Yes.
doing? How are you doing today?" And I'm like, it's silent, so I'm just like, "Okay, I guess you're not doing good."
They
Like,
from they from the North where
"Oh,
Blaire from.
They
They from up
from the
north.
they from the
okay."
Midwest.
Yeah, they from there. So I would say, like, looking at this a little bit more, a little bit deeper, based on what I know to be true, based on scripture. When I think about God and what He wants for us, like, He didn't design us to simply just have access to one another. He designed us to be in relationships, to be in this community. He designed us to be in community, as we've been talking about. And ultimately, He designed us for covenant.
Mm,
Right? I think part of the reason so many people are lonely is because we have confused access with covenant. And just because someone follows you, right? It doesn't mean that they know you, as we've already said. Just because they're in the group chat, it doesn't mean that they are willing to carry the burdens that you are carrying. And just because they view your stories, they like, follow, all those things, it doesn't mean that they are part of your life. It doesn't even mean that they
mhm,
want what's best for your life. And so we have more access than ever before, but we have very, very little covenant. And covenant is different, right? Covenant says, I'm committed to you. I think
mm,
about Dr. Blair the other last week in an episode talked about in our marriage, like, she's committed to the person. She's committed to Antoine, not the she's also committed to marriage, but not the relationship, but the person, right?
yes.
And so covenant says, I'm committed to you. That's a covenant. Covenant says, I am showing up when it's inconvenient. Okay? That's a covenant. So when I get a phone call at midnight and I'm asleep, that's
Yeah.
covenant. I'm gonna wake up and answer my girl's call. Because what's
Mhm,
going on? You need prayer? What do you need? What can I do? How can I help? I'm committed to you, right? Covenant shows up when it's inconvenient. It's not
mhm,
supposed to be convenient for you. And so when I look at Acts 2, you see that's the early church, right? You don't see people just gathering together. You see people doing life together, right?
mhm,
I can just imagine them fellowshipping, they're breaking bread together, they praying together, sharing all these resources. And that's what we're called to do. We are called to carry each other's lives. And
mm,
I think that somewhere along the way, we have become comfortable just being informed about people without actually being involved with the people. So I really want, when we think about what God is calling us to do, He never called us to be we're not called to be deeply connected to everyone. I want that to be clear. We don't have to be deeply involved and connected with everyone. What
sure
He
don't.
wants, though, is for us to be genuinely connected
Mhm,
to
yes.
someone. And maybe that's just the invitation. Maybe that's what you all need to hear today, is to stop measuring community by how many people have access to you
Mm,
and start measuring it by how many people actually know you, what
right.
they know about you, because real community isn't built on visibility. Like Dr. DQ said, it's built on vulnerability. And the
Mm,
beautiful thing is, before you're fully known by another person, you're already fully known by who? Okay,
come on,
God,
in the
right?
blank.
He knows the version that you post. He
Yes.
knows it. He knows the version that you hide, right? And
Mhm,
he knows the struggle that nobody else knows.
Mhm.
yeah,
And he continues to stay by your side.
thank
And
you.
Mhm.
that's the model that we are called to follow. That's real community.
Mhm.
So, my listeners, here's where we want this to land. You might be realizing right now that you have a lot of access to other people, and maybe people have a lot of access to you, but you have very little connection. That realization can feel saddening. It can feel like grief because you've been calling something community that actually wasn't feeding you, that wasn't giving you what you needed. So, you've been showing up, you post regularly, you're engaging, quotation marks, all day. You're staying in the chat. You're doing all the things that look like community from the outside. This that virtual remote world that we living in, this hybrid world we living in, and you still feeling like nobody actually knows you. And I want to acknowledge that that's not a personal failure. That is our current reality within our culture right now. And that is what happens when we build connection on infrastructure designed for access. That's what social media is about. But here's also what we want you to know. The fact that you feel that gap, that's evidence. That's evidence that you were made for more than what you've been settling for within these social communities. It's evidence that the longing you feel is legitimate and is God given. That's direction from Him. So, real community exists. It's absolutely out there. It exists. It's just not free. It's going to cost you showing up honestly. It's going to cost that vulnerability as far as you being fully present, as far as you wanting people to know who you are. It's going to cost time, consistency, that fully seen you that you want out there so you can relate to people, so people can know you. And again, that select few as Lady B talked about. But the question is, are you willing to pay that? Are you willing to give the time, the consistency? Are you willing to take the risk as far as being fully seen?
So I want to ask y'all some questions, and this is for the listeners out there. And I want you to figure out which one stings a little bit when I ask it, because that's the one you need to focus on. Okay.
Oh.
So, couple of questions for you. Who actually knows what's really going on with you right now? If you can't name somebody, you might need to work on your connection.
Message.
What am I performing in my community that I haven't actually said out loud to anyone? Where are you putting on that mask, right?
Yep.
Is there someone in my life I've given access who I've never actually let in? And what's one true thing you can share with them?
Mm.
And then the last question, what would it cost to stop performing and start connecting? And are you ready to pay that cost?
Mm.
So, which one of those questions stung a little bit? That's the one that you're going to focus on this week. So, your yes this week is not a social media post. Okay. Don't get online talking about the communities you in and oh, I got friends. I love y'all. Y'all amazing. Girl, they don't know you. Stop it.
Unless you making a post about this Yes Work podcast and then telling
Okay.
your people to listen to this episode so you can come on.
Okay. Y'all better come on. Your yes work this week is a conversation, one honest conversation with one real person, excluding yourself. We're not talking about a one-on-one in the mirror. No,
Right.
a one-on-one with somebody else about one thing that you haven't really shared before. You haven't really named it. You haven't been transparent and vulnerable about it. So do that this week. Say yes and be okay with it costing you that vulnerability. You have to believe that that kind of community is possible for you. And I promise you, it's going to be a safe space.
If this episode stung, like Dr. DQ said, it was supposed to. We believe the longing you feel for real community is God given, and we want you to know that longing is pointing you somewhere. If this conversation gave you language for something you've been feeling, share it with someone. Make that post. I know Dr. DQ said don't make that. You can do this post. We're going to give you permission.
Yeah.
We're going to give you permission to do that. But just know that you can share this with someone who you think may want to be known. Or maybe this is your indicator to them, like, hey, I want to be fully known. Let me start with you, right? And by sharing this in that step, that could be your first indicator. That could be your first move. Follow, rate, review the Yes Work podcast. It helps more people find this space. It helps you build a community where you can have conversations and reflect and debrief after what we're sharing with you. And it can be a part of your yes too. We will see y'all next week. We are going to dive deeper. We talked about access. We're going to dive a little deeper into access next week. for
Mhm.
you and for what that can look like. So we want you to come back. We appreciate you. We love you and keep doing the yes work.
We love you.
Hey.